Hi guys, it's Josh Lloyd here for your NBA DraftKings first look for Tuesday across the NBA. A pretty light slate of games, only the four of them on the Tuesday. Before we get into talking about that, why don't you go and smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, leave your comment down below. Tell me what you're looking forward to me talking about in this show, and hit the notification bell as well so you never miss an episode. All right, let's talk games. First one we've got is the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards. No spread or total at this point. This is a back-to-back for Washington. Bradley Beal missed on Monday. We don't know if he'll be ready to go, and I can almost guarantee you that Daniel Gafford won't play after suffering what looked like a pretty severe ankle injury on Monday. So we're going to be back to the Alex Len and Robin Lopez show at center. Gafford was proving to be the best center out of that group by a pretty large margin. Of course, their coach Scott Brooks decided that that doesn't mean that he has to play the most minutes or anything crazy like that. But it doesn't matter anymore because Gafford won't play, and I think he's going to be out for multiple weeks rather than multiple days. So let's hope that it's not too bad, but almost no chance at Gaff is ready to go in this one. But a guy that did come across in the trade deadline along with Daniel Gafford, who was in the closing lineup for the Wizards with Bradley Beal out, mind you, is Chandler Hutchison. Minimum salary bloke who scored well. And at minimum salary, and especially if Beal is out, I'm okay with using Hutcho here. He could drop 20, 24, 25 easily. I'm okay with using him. I think we've got to look at Alex Len as well at 4,000. I know it's not sexy, but centers against the Hornets is good. And he's a guy that's going to have to get those minutes because there's just no one else apart from him and Robin Lopez. Rui Hachimura, big game from him on Monday. A lot of usage, a lot of shot attempts, a lot of minutes without Bradley Beal. The 6,000 is okay. I probably like it more if Beal is out, but I do think there is value in him. While Westbrook's at 10.9, he just dropped an absolute monster on Monday, so absolutely no worries. No hesitation in using him. Same with Devontae Graham. I've got no hesitation putting him into a lineup either. Hayward, I'm a little bit doubtful of, and I wouldn't use Bradley Beal at 8,900 either. PJ Washington Jr., he's just very up and down. Very tough to get two behind that, whereas the other side of things, Terry Rozier, is just more consistent, like 38s, 39s almost every day, and that's really strong value at that 7,700 mark. I guess we can also have a look at Malik Monk, who is averaging 31 points over the last 3 games, which at 4,900, that's really hard to complain about. So I think there's quite a bit of value in that first game, Charlotte versus Washington. The second game that we're going to take a look at is Philadelphia and Denver. Of course, there is no Joel Embiid for Philadelphia. It is going to be Aaron Gordon's second game for Denver. Nikola Jokic, 10,500. Is Dwight Howard going to stop him? Is Mike Scott going to stop him? I would say no to both of those. This has got 60 written all over it for Jokic, while Aaron Gordon's at 62. His first game, he got 20 DraftKings points in 21 minutes. I am not super excited about him, but he has had a good record against Philadelphia in the past. I'll be pretty hesitant to put him in, though. Maga Porter Jr.'s at 6,700. Hard to see how, again, him and Gordon can maintain enough value at their respective salaries, so I probably wouldn't be falling all over him, to be honest, while the headmaster Jamal Murray's at 76 and Tobias Harris at 85. I'd rather Harris at the 85 than I would Murray at 76, but I think there can be utility in both guys. Dan Green's at 4,800, not the greatest DraftKings player. Well, Will Barton struggled in the first game with Aaron Gordon then. I'm not sure that that's related or not, but it is worth mentioning. He had just 25 points in that one, but at 5,800 and a 39 average the last 3 times against Philadelphia for Barton, I do think that 5,800 is in the zone that we could take a crack at and have a look at him there. JaMychal Green went off against the Hawks, but I don't really expect him to do that. And Shake Milton at 47 is only just your flyer-type GPP option. Not interested in Thibault or Korkmaz, really, and Ben Simmons has been entirely underwhelming, especially when you consider you have to spend 8,700 to get him into a lineup. I would not be spending 8,700 to get Ben Simmons into a lineup at this point. Next up, the Magic and the Clippers. This is a back-to-back for the Clippers. The Magic, we have no idea what's going to happen with their rotation. They were still trying to work in Hampton, Porter, and Carter last game, and Carter and Porter both closed the game despite not starting the game. So could there be changes in that rotation? We don't know, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. Paul George missed Monday's game for the Clippers with a foot injury. I don't think Beverly will play. I don't think Ibaka will play. I don't think Rondo will play. And I don't think Paul George will play. Maybe they just rested him because it was a back-to-back. It was a late scratch. So I reckon they'd be pretty cautious, especially against an opponent of the quality of the Magic. And don't be surprised if Kawhi sits this one as well. I think there is a real possibility of that. George is at 86 and Kawhi is at 8,800. Now, if one of those guys plays, most specifically Kawhi at 8,800, I'd be all for it. But I do think there is real blowout potential in this game. So therefore, I'm going to focus my attention a little bit further down the list. 4,900 for Reggie Jackson. Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. I want to look at Terrence Mann at 4,700, who, if those guys are out, yeah, Beverly, Rondo, and then George, and maybe Leonard. Leonard, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think it's going to happen. But Mann, at that price, I really like. But the other good news for another option for us is Terrence Ross is upgraded to probable. He's at 7,100. He is going to get so many shots. Imagine someone taking the shots that Dwayne Bacon takes, but actually being a good basketball player. That's what Terrence Ross can be. He's already averaging 40 points his last 3 contests, and now he gets to be the man. Man, this is going to be 40 plus, I would guess, for Terry Ross. Pretty interested in that. Michael Carter-Williams left the last game with a knee contusion. He's fine to play. Well, Chuma Akiki at 5,600. He's averaging 31 over his last 3 games. Now, I worry a little bit the usage dips somewhat, and his usage had been up, but his usage might dip a little bit with Terrence Ross returning. I don't mind him. I think there is a little bit of a risk, though, in using him at that sort of salary. Bumba dropped 31 in the first game without Vooch. He's at 4,900. We don't know the center rotation. But if Bumba got 20 minutes, he would beat that number. I just don't have confidence in it. And I'm not super interested in Birch at 5,100. I think we can do probably a little bit better there. While Bacon at 5,700, the 38 points he had last game was fantastic against the Lakers. Awesome stuff. But it's Dwayne Bacon. We know how inconsistent he is, and then Terrence Ross is going to come in and take some of those shots as well. Another name to watch, I guess, is Luke Kennard, mainly because he's priced at 3,400. He started Monday's game in place of Paul George, so if he gets 30 minutes in that scenario and, 25 points, that's pretty easy to come by in a starting role on a team without Paul George. And at 3,400, there could be some really good value there. But there's some ups and downs in his game. Yeah, Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, RJ Hampton, the 3 new players. Carter's at 55, Porter's at 54, and Hampton's at 35. The only one I'd really consider there is RJ at 3,500. Maybe just throwing him into a GPP in case they force some extra minutes. But Ross returning, I think, and Carter Williams being fine, does put a little bit of a cramp or a little bit of a ceiling on what RJ Hampton is able to do. The last game of the night, we've got the Atlanta Hawks. They are taking on the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns are 5.5-point favorites here. The Hawks are coming fresh off an absolute ass-kicking by the Denver Nuggets. The total here is 222.5. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. Nate McMillan said he's probably 60-70% likely to play. Lou Williams is off the injury report, so he could be making his Hawks debut for this season, while Abdul Nadir remains out for Phoenix. DeAndre Ayton's at 6,400, and he has been playing at a higher level of late. Ayton getting more minutes, averaging 38 over his last 5, not minutes, that's DraftKings points, and that's really good at 6,400. I like Booker a little bit at 8,300, and I like Chris Paul at 8,000 somewhat too. Although Paul's last games have been a little bit off, I'd much prefer to take Booker there. Trae Young's at 9,000. I think there is value in using Trae Young at 9,000. He's going to get his 40 almost minimum every night. John Collins at 7,000. Collins has done extraordinarily well against Phoenix, averaging 48 the last 3 times. I think he's a tournament guy. I wouldn't feel comfortable in cash because of foul trouble and then sometimes the rotations that McMillan uses, but there is some value in him. Crowder, Cam Johnson, Šarić, not interested in them, nor am I interested in Lou Williams, Bogdanović, or DeAndre Hunter, and even Kevin Huerter, who has really, really dropped off his level of production of late with the re-emergence or the return from injury, I guess, of Bogdanović. In terms of overall value on the slate, I'm really liking minimum salary Chandler Hutchison. I like Alex Len and Rui Hachimura, and they all get a boost if Beal is out. I like Malik Monk. I like Russell Westbrook. I like Marcus Morris. I like DeAndre Ayton, Nikola Jokic, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Devontae Graham, Ivica Zubac, Terrence Mann. A little bit of interest in Aaron Gordon with his salary drop. Tobias Harris, Gordon Hayward somewhat, and Trae Young there as well. Guys, that'll do it for today's show. Don't forget, again, subscribe, notification bell, thumbs ups, comments, all that sort of stuff. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya.